2025, Bath did the triple, including their first Premiership title of the century. Leinster won their first URC title in what feels like a century. And Matthew Jalabert did this. But in amongst all the Finns in the first, this was a year in which some rugby was indeed played by some people. And to celebrate the best of that rugby, it is time for this, the Squid Rugby Team of the Year. But first, time to stop off in the coach of 2025. And this is honestly kind of an all-time open shut case, as 2025 revealed to us one of the great minds of the modern game, who twisted and turned everything we thought we knew about rugby until it fell out and felt new again. Canada coach Kevin Rouet is a rugby genius, frankly, who this year pioneered a new way to play the game at the highest possible level. Focusing on speed and smarts, Rouet's approach outlined everything a coach is supposed to do better than anyone else did this year. Build a game plan that works. His style reached a World Cup final and overcame defending champions New Zealand in maybe the performance of the year. Everyone bar England crushed under their toe. Build a close-knit, tight environment where players can perform at their best. Absolutely ticked off, listen to any interview, and perhaps the most important thing, helping his squad to get better. The Rouet style of play is based on speed and smarts, and Tessier, de Goody most notably, but all the kind of key leaders and spokespeople within this squad have said repeatedly how much time was put in by Rouet and the other coaches to change how they look at the game, to try and rewire their brain to think about rugby more deeply in different ways, and think about it faster. Rouet this year turned an underdog team into World Cup finalists by facilitating the most exciting, entertaining, and exhilarating brand of rugby on the planet. And for me, that's a pretty open shut case for 2025's Coach of the Year. And so with that, we move back to the pitch and indeed back to the pack and go up front. It is time for the biggest jump, get up in the air, push over and hit a ruck, boys. It's the best second row forwards of 2025. I don't even know where to start or what to say about Sophie de Goody. You can sort of, at this point, only really ask questions like, is she the most complete rugby player in the history of the game? Have we ever seen a player more all-round impressive than her? Because, I'm sorry, Antoine, but this is a feasible passage of play for Sophie de Goody. She calls the line out, takes it herself, reloads onto the next ball and carries, cleans out a ruck, comes in, organises the play at fly half, makes a break sniping off 9, finishes it, then kicks the conversion. De Goody is a freak of nature, the daughter of two former Canada captains and raised on the touchline of a local rugby club. The Lock had an irrepressible, incredible year in 2025. Despite picking up an ACL injury last year, expect to rule her out of the World Cup, certainly have a touch and go to make it. She recovered 4 months ahead of schedule. It was instantly excellent for Canada in the Pac 4. She slowly then built her way up to an absolute world-beating best over their warm-up games. Her incredible distribution showing and then going double once they arrived at the World Cup, where she was simply the best player on the planet all year, any form or version of the game. De Goody at the 25 World Cup made more offloads, took more lineouts, achieved more post-contact meters than any other player in the tournament. She made more meters and line breaks than any other forward. That's second for lineout steals in the entire competition, third for tackles, fourth for carries in the full competition. She was second for conversions and third overall top point scorer. Seriously, when have you ever seen the same player be second for both conversions and line-out steals? Dan Parks never did that. De Goody, and this is huge, averaged 2.1 post-contact meters per carry. For context, that's more than any forward in the last 3 men's World Cups. She's ridiculous. 3 tries, including this critical one in the semi-final, and 4 assists were perhaps the standout stats, but Sophie de Goody this year was simply irrepressible. Not just in the Team of the Year, but the nailed-on 2025 recipient of the overall annual award for the Squid Rugby Player of the Year. Saracens captain, England captain, Lions captain. And if he wasn't already, as of 2025, Maro Itoje now surely has to be a Saracens legend, an England legend, and now a Lions legend. There's a weird thing where people like to offer the hot take constantly that Maro Itoje is overrated, that they don't quite see him in the same way. But I actually think sometimes the only people that can ever rate him fully are the coaches who work with him, who see him day in, day out, and watch his tape back 30 times and pay specific attention. This is a distinctive, iconic 6'6", 18-stone player who somehow managed to work unseen for most of the game. And yet you reach the end, you watch it back a second or third time, and every single time you realise he was the best player player on the pitch. Nobody does the dirty side of the game cleaner than Tadgh. Nobody sucks in more defenders whilst cleaning out a ruck, or contorts a ball carrier into perfect placement for the defence, or holds an opponent back way out of the referee's field of vision like Tadgh. His sixth sense for how to impact a game without necessarily nearing the ball is unmatched. His ability to create space for others while seemingly so far away from it. His knack for knowing exactly where the referee's line is and how to play on it, exist on it, to bend, not break the rules, hasn't been seen, frankly, on this level at international tier since Richie McCaw. He's someone who contributes so much more than his sky-high stats will show. His work at the ruck, second to none. His line-out work as good as anyone. And this was a banner year. The linchpin and leader of an England side who won all but one game, and captain of the Lions. A skipper who brought together the squad that produced the first series victory in 12 years. Tadgh has always been exceptional, and 2025 was one of his best years yet, even to the extent of it wasn't obvious to anyone not spending hour after hour analysing his tape. Right, shall we do some honourable mentions? I would quite like to do some honourable mentions. And where better to start than with Erica Jarrell Cersei. Nobody did more in a handful of games this year than EJS. Great for the Eagles and Sharks across the entire year, but her form in the World Cup was world-beating and propelled her almost close to possibly into the team if it was an all-female team. She is in there. There's also a whole slew of Springboks who we would have to pick one of if it was an all-male team. You have Snyman, who's close, Nokia, who's really close, doesn't get enough attention, Etzebeth, who up until he tanked us all in the last 2 minutes. Good year. Luke de Jager is back. And honestly, just about every other lock who's ever set foot in Joburg was brilliant on the international pitch this year. Jean Klein. Abby Ward ran the Red Roses line out really well. Scotland's Sarah Bonner and Emma Wassell in particular were brilliant. Wassell returning from a horror injury to excel at the World Cup. Both Bremner's, Alana and Chelsea were sublime for the Ferns, as was Maya Roos. Fiji and Northampton's free-throwing Maya Onavalu, excellent, as was Fijiana's Jade Coates. Canada's other lock, Courtney O'Donnell, flew under the radar when, frankly, you're next to one of the greatest players that's ever played the game. It will happen, but seriously good. Ireland players Sam Monaghan and Fiona Tutt were fantastic. A word for Japan's Warner Dearns, likely the nation's best player once again this year. Hey, Ollie Chesham, fantastic at rugby, had a great Lions tour. Italy's Federica Ruzza and Nicola Canone worked their socks off this year, as did Jeremy Williams and Nick Frost, who one day will overcome the long-suffering channel face blindness we have for them. And Dav Jenkins, again, socks completely absent. He worked them off. He can't find them. Gregor Brown likewise went from, oh, yeah, that guy, to bloody hell, this guy is so good. How was this guy so good? Over the course of the year. And then a few players who were held back, frankly, from this team only by game time. Tupou Vai likely makes it if he didn't get injured towards the end of the year, the almost best player before he fell ill or to a bad body, an injury. Will Skelton almost single-handedly turned the Lions series and deserves the biggest possible mention. And Francis Michael Guillard is one of the breakthrough players of the year. Power, dynamism, and expertise already in abundance despite his young age. Thank you for watching that. I hope you enjoyed it.
Same.
So there is this video in the second row. There are ones out there on the halfbacks. We did first.
The centres, was that second?
That was third.
Ah, never mind.
And the front row came in between that.
There we go.
That leaves just the two blocks of three. We have the back three and the back row to go.
So with the back three, again, judging by the video you've just watched, you want to hope if any of them jump in line-outs regularly or go into scrums regularly, they might have a head start.
Yes. So the back three will be with you tomorrow. Then the following day, the Saturday, the third, we're going to leave the Saturday because there's lots of games on.
Yeah.
And so it'll be the back row will come on the 4th, on the Sunday. So that is to come. There's going to be a 1 day gap. I hope that's okay. I hope that's acceptable for everyone. We'll see you then for even more. I believe it is known as rugby. This is out of date. What we need is Prem rugby. As a young person, do you feel more inclined to watch the video now that you're looking at this? The word earship is gone.
I mean, when this video comes out, I'm turning 30 tomorrow, so am I a young person?
Oh, wow. I mean, I've been 30. Are you 30 already? God, that's gone.
No shit, no, I'm 29. I could stay in.
For that moments of the year.